took me a few tries for some reason today, but we got it. We are going, I do believe. Oh, and let me switch my internet connection real quick to make sure that we stay going. There we go. All right. Perfect. Hello, welcome. Happy whatever day it is today. I think it's the 26th, I do believe. For some reason, I almost just jumped ahead a year. I was thinking 32626, but it's 32625 right now. Still a really powerful sort of alignment of numbers there. We are within a few days of the new moon partial solar eclipse at 9 degrees of Aries. That's a huge energy. We talked about that last week in connection with Neptune moving into Aries, who is, of course, moving into Aries the day following. And we're imagining this eclipse as sort of that opening, that doorway that Neptune sort of glides through as we open up into this brand new epoch, this brand new era of consciousness. There is something really powerful dawning and shifting with this eclipse. Let me know if you can feel it. Everybody who's on the live stream, and if you are watching this on the replay, let me know in the comments if you are feeling this energy. And yes, I am going to be snacking on a few strawberries as we get going here. Highly recommend that everybody be really intentional as much as you can with what you're eating. Make sure that you are hydrating right now. I got my water here, got my nettle tea as well. We want to make sure that we are taking care of our bodies. Hello, beautiful Annika. Hello, Dee. Great to see you again. We had our Patreon call just earlier before we came on here. Anyone who's interested in joining the Patreon, all the information is in the description box below. And Annika might pop it in the chat at some point here. The link sometimes works, it sometimes doesn't on the chat, but it always works in the description box. So if you are interested in that, we meet bi-weekly. And we did a beautiful guided meditation today. We went into the inner earth. We never really know where we're going to go until we go. And there was this beautiful blossoming. We saw the way that the new earth is birthed out from the center of the planet as well as from the center of our own hearts. So it was really gorgeous. And it feels like there's this major birthing energy connected to this solar eclipse being right after the equinox and the beginning of Aries season at that 9 degree of Aries point, which is it's really the final stage of the first decan of Aries. And there's something with that that's coming through right now. The energy, it is, the 9, you guys. Come on. It's a 9 year. The 9 is the big energy. And so the 999, that's why I'm so excited. Let me know anybody else who's checking this out. I put a post in the community section to see who would be interested in a Sedona retreat for the 999 energies. It's just that 9 energy is so big and so prevalent. So it's so funny. I've been looking at this like, what's the significance of the 9, right? We had the Mercury go retrograde at 9 degrees of Aries. We had Venus at 10, which is close to 9. All of this different stuff, right? So I'm like, what is, and it's the 99, the 999 energies. Yeah, that's what it is. So that point, that energy is powerful. I'm also 9 is a Sagittarian degree if we're talking degree theory. So we're looking at that energy of exploration, that energy of higher learning, higher knowledge, of wisdom, of beliefs, right? Sagittarius energy is ruled by Jupiter, which rules the 9th house, which also rules our values, ideals, beliefs, along with some other planets. They kind of interchange here. So there's something, it's the energy of exploration. And Aries energy is very much that energy as well, right? So there's this energy of pioneering. There's this energy of exploration. It's like the new frontier of our lives. So with this solar eclipse, this new moon solar eclipse, there's this energy of really bringing through whatever that next what's the word that I'm looking for here? Evolution of our energy is really birthing that new timeline for ourselves, what it is that we're creating. And this energy is going to be active for the next year. So really pay attention to what's going on right now. And I know that there's a lot of purging and a lot of releasing going on right now. I know there is for me. You guys let me know how you've been feeling. It's been feeling a lot feistier than the lunar eclipse, which I was expecting to be somewhat feisty. So lots coming up, lots coming to the surface. I mean, it makes sense. As we've been in this preparation period for the eclipse, we've had Mercury and Venus retrograde dancing around the sun. So I think that's been doing a lot of things to a lot of us. It's really been bringing up some things from the shadow, a lot of repressed desires, a lot of repressed truths, and really calling us to revisit things, to give things another look. To look at where, and this is interesting, right? And this is the retrograde in Aries energy, to look at where we've been impulsive in agreeing or consenting to something, in initiating something. And now it's like the red flags that we avoided before, that we didn't acknowledge before are coming up. They're coming to the surface. They're coming up for review. Chaos, Annika says, yeah, there's a lot of that. There's definitely a lot of chaotic energy. We have Uranus who is aspecting this eclipse, which is just really cranking up the volume when it comes to that energy of chaos. Uranus is more connected with Saturn. I mean, Uranus, all right, let me check my chart actually, you guys. Let me see if I can pull up my chart here. I wasn't going to do it. I didn't think that we were going to need it, but it's always helpful to have the chart coming up so that I can take a full look at this again as we're talking about it again. I'm definitely going to do a card reading today because I don't feel like we got to pull a ton of cards last time. And I'm really curious to see what wants to come through there. So as I'm looking for this, like, let me know, you guys, like what you've been feeling, what you've been experiencing. That's been a pain in the ass too. Hold on, we'll figure this out. All right. But yeah, something interesting regarding the Uranian energy came up about that the other day. And hi, Ty, as well. I'm seeing Ty in the comments there. Seeing Damien. Hello, Damien. Hello, Alex. Hello, Uma. Hello, Ploon. Oh, I see Ploon was there. Ploon, you're always first. You're Annika. Let me see here. Where is my... We're in the wrong one here. And that's sort of like, and this was particularly for my Tauruses where Uranus has been in our sign for quite some time. I want to say it was like since 2018, 2019. So it's like there's a lot that Uranus shakes up when Uranus is in your sign, and Uranus is going to be moving into Gemini. So my Geminis you guys are getting ready to feel this Uranus transit. It's quite a lengthy transit. So the energy, it's not going to hit you all at once. It's going to kind of come in waves, just like anything. But even Uranus is rearranging a lot of stuff. But ultimately, there's a powerful blessing that's being brought through. So a message that came through that I forgot to share for my Tauruses is like the blessings coming. If you've just felt like your life has been like you've been thrown into a blender and you have no idea what's going on and you've been like stressed out, you've been just like wondering where it's going to give. Right, when you're going to get spat out the other side, essentially, just know that it's coming. So we're going to see at this very end of this Uranus transit, some of those blessings and some of the evidence of like that rerouting and that rearrangement and where it's actually led us. And I think for some of my Tauruses, this is going to be happening during and around this eclipse point. And even if you're not a Taurus, if Uranus has been working with you heavily over the past however many years here, just know that like 7 years or so, I'm feeling 7-8 years, just know that there is like I don't want to say a payoff, like a reward, but kind of, you know what I mean? Let's see. This is really buried in here. What's this? Okay, there we go. There's a solar eclipse. All right. Uranus, where are you at? Yeah. So Uranus is more aspecting the Pisces energies here. So this is Venus conjunct the North Node in Pisces. So that's where Uranus is most active here. But this stellium here between Pisces and moving into the beginning of Aries, like we said, we've been seeing these planets all kind of moving and orbiting around each other for quite some time, kind of swapping places, moving back and forth. So I feel Uranus affecting this entire eclipse because he's affecting the points in Pisces. And then we have Uranus or Venus and the North Node, 27, 28 degrees Pisces, 29. We've got Neptune, 0 degrees of Aries. We've got Mercury retrograde now during the eclipse. And then we've got 9 degrees of Aries for the sun and the moon. And then if we move it along a little further, we got Chiron there at 22 degrees of Aries. So like Uranus is aspecting the elements within Pisces, especially that Venus, Neptune, North Node energy there. But we're feeling it just as a general guiding energy throughout the eclipse here. We're also feeling Mars, who is also aspecting the Piscean aspects here at 22 degrees of Cancer here, as sort of a guiding force within these eclipses. So if you have major placements anywhere within this, like within those final degrees of Pisces, that first decan of Aries, so that would be the first 10 degrees of Aries, around 22 degrees of Cancer, around 24 degrees of Taurus, you're going to really be feeling these energies. They're going to be influencing you in a really powerful way. And Uranus is bringing through that. That's that timeline shift. That's that timeline jump. That's that. I'm feeling a clearing and for some reason I'm being guided to use the word purging of the Akashic records too, for whomever that's going to concern. And something really interesting about the Akashic records is that they're a living energy and they're always shifting and changing. Right. And so they do represent the totality of all that is, was, and ever will be, all possibilities, all timelines. But there's this energy of how they're able to be shifted and rewritten because they're always in motion. And so there's something with rewriting our Akashic records that's coming through here. And like I said, the energy of purging the Akashic records, I'm not really sure what that means, but that's just what's coming through right now. So that's going to be really powerful. And that Uranus is truly aligning us with that higher vision for ourselves with that. And all right, Spirit's is bringing through something interesting right now. Is like, we don't even necessarily just want to look at it as the higher timeline. It's going to be whatever timeline, like the higher timeline. A lot of times when we say that, what we think the highest timeline means, hello, Amber, by the way, what we really think the highest timeline means is the best one, right? The one where we're having the most fun. But that's not always what the highest timeline means. The highest timeline means the timeline that's going to give us the most growth and expansion, which ultimately is going to assist us in our process of ascension the most. All right. So this is funny. I think a lot of us think the one where I'm living my best life is my highest timeline. No, the one where you're growing and evolving the most, that is your highest timeline. Some people are not going to like hearing that. I'm not particularly liking to share it. But as if we're wanting to get to that highest timeline where we are living our best life, we need to go through this growth process first. We need to go through this living and elevating. So essentially it is still fast tracking us. So for some of us, our highest timeline is going to be our most challenging timeline, but it is the fast track to get us where we're going. So anybody who's trying to, oh, this is funny. Anybody who's trying to manifest something really big, who's trying to do or I don't want to say trying, right? Who is performing a major timeline leap right now, just know and understand that when you decide to do that, when you decide like, I'm here and I want to be here and I'm going to quantum leap to here, there's a process of energy. And that is essentially, you are fast tracking yourself. And when you fast track yourself, that means it's kind of like the same idea as when we talk about a soul who decides they want to have a lot of growth in one lifetime. So they take on so many challenges. They take on all this intensity, all of these traumatic experiences so that they can grow exponentially in one lifetime. They pack a lot into that one lifetime. It's kind of like that's what happens when you decide to make a leap like this. So we glamorize it a lot in the spiritual community, but there's a lot that goes into that. It's very intense and there's a lot of intense work. that is involved with that, like self-work, shadow work, healing work. So your alignment with that highest timeline is your alignment with that work and you being shown the work that needs to be done. That's not to say it's not going to be fantastic. And trust me, if you are somebody who decided to align yourself with that frequency of energy, then you did it on purpose because you knew that you could. You were ready for it and everything that it entails. Hello, Neil. Yep. So, and I think that's what's coming up for a lot of people right now, as we are in this energy of being shown where the work's at. What is the work that I still need to do? What is the work that I maybe skipped over, right? What is the work that I've started doing and then kind of forgot about or put down on the table, kind of walked away to do something else? It's like the things that are unfinished, this is retrograde season, remember, are coming back up. Where it is that there are still things that need to be shifted, that's coming back up. And definitely this energy where anything that we've repressed, anything that we haven't acknowledged within our shadow, particularly when it comes to our drives and our desires, is coming up to the surface so that we can see all sides, so that we can see what we've missed. There's a big energy here of seeing what we've missed that's coming through. Oh, I did say that about finishing old projects. Oh yeah, Amber, I remember that. I remember saying that. Hello, beautiful Miranda as well. All right, let's pull some cards. We talked enough about the astrology last time. I don't feel like we need to get too deeply into it. That Mars in Cancer, though, there's something with that Mars, man. That Mars just went through a retrograde too. That Mars is carrying powerful light codes. Lots of information, lots of wisdom, lots of emotional information. That Mars is the key in a sense. Integrating that Mars energy. And there's something about when that Mars re-enters Leo. That's going to be really powerful. And before we pull cards, I'm going to look up when that is for you guys so that we know. But Mars is like, I feel like Mars holding the emotional codes right now. And there's something with those emotional codes and the way that they're activating. Hello, Mystic Ray. It's like tapping us into different emotional states. It's like the combination to our manifesting includes this ability to reach these emotional states of being, reach these levels of vibration. And that Mars energy is the key. So part of what Spirit's bringing through right now is whatever you're feeling, let yourself feel it. And know that with this Mars and Cancer energy, it's probably going to feel really intense. It's going to feel over the top. That's what Spirit's saying. Oh, we got Mars squaring Chiron today as we're recording this, Ty says. Well, there you go. Just amping up that energy, right? And I mean, Mars was squaring Cancer during the eclipse too. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. They're both, it's an exact square at 22 degrees. Actually, I don't know if Mars is at 22 degrees today. He must be, since Ty said that. So he will still be at 22 degrees squaring Chiron. So there you go. There's some healing. There's that, just what I was talking about. Right? Chiron being the wounded healer. Mars and Chiron, they're activating each other and they're activating this eclipse. And they're assisting us in activating this emotional energy and these emotional codes, like we said. And a lot of what's purging out is some of that old emotional material. And it's almost like where, like I said, it's like our reactions, our energies are hyper intensified right now, but it's for a purpose, right? It's exaggerated. So just know that, let yourself feel it. Like I've been feeling a lot of irritation. I'm always honest with you guys. A lot of irritation, a lot of rage coming out of nowhere the past couple days, a lot of frustration. You know what I mean? Like, and it's been coupled by like really amazing moments and energy, but I've definitely been feeling that. All right. And so it's like overreacting to situations and energies, but it's like you get so caught up in it at the moment that it doesn't even feel like an overreaction. You're just like, man, I'm really fucking pissed. Like I'm a lot more mad than I thought I was, or I feel a lot more extremely about this than I realized I did, right? You do feel the way that you feel, but it is being amplified so that you can, it's like something about the energy of releasing that. The amplification is necessary. It's like the amplification helps you to release it in double time. Now we're getting back to that energy. Remember when we talked about quantum leaping, how you're here and you're trying to go here? The intensity of that experience of getting here from here. And so it's the same thing with the intensification of the emotions. It's like it releases them faster. And it is more intense. But like what, so know that whatever you're feeling right now, yes, there's authenticity to it, but it's also being magnified. And any of your fears, any of your frustrations, any of that shadow material is being amplified so that you can't ignore it, so you can't look away from it. So you have to feel it and you have to acknowledge it. And after that process, it's not going to feel so big anymore. Like it's like right now it's that mountains out of molehills kind of energy. Yeah, exactly, Amber. You know what I mean? Where we're blowing things completely out of proportion within our own minds, within our own hearts. But there's a reason for that. And it's like a pressure valve, and that pressure has to get hit so that the release can happen. And that's what's happening right now. So it's actually a really good thing. It just doesn't feel great. Thank you so much for bringing that up, Ty, that square between Chiron and Mars there, because that's definitely a big, big energy here. And like we said, I mean, Mars or Chiron, Chiron's, what is it? I suck at math here. So 13 degrees away from the eclipse. So not really within conjunction range. Typically we give the sun and the moon, we'll say 10-degree orb. Astrologers are generally generous with the sun and the moon. But where this is an eclipse, I think 13 degrees, I mean, I'll allow it. I don't know about you guys. I feel like that's playing a big part in this energy, that clearing of, that clearing and releasing of those emotional codes. It's like once those emotions, that's what it is. Once the emotions get released, the pressure releases, and there's stuff that was buried underneath that's then able to it's like there are activations that are able to happen once we get a release of all that heaviness of that emotion. And then I was looking up when Mars goes into Leo, I believe. Let's see here. Let's see, there's Libra. Why am I not seeing this here? Oh, there we go, on the 18th. So a few days after Venus stations direct in Pisces, we'll have Mars re-entering Leo. So that's going to be powerful. I feel like there's something really powerful when Mars, for all of us collectively, when Mars re-enters Leo. All right, I'm going to go. Yeah, no, I'm feeling this one. Hold on, you guys, grabbing some cards here. Wanted to get my Starseed Oracle. We haven't played with this one in a while. We're going to start with the Moonology deck, though. I need like a bigger desk right now. Yes, Amber, absolutely. Amber said if you feel anxious, you have to move your body. Yeah. Physical exercise, dance, yoga, stretching, anything you can do to get your body moving. There's my friend Tommy has this whole like slapping of the body thing that he was shown that helps to like wake up your body in the mornings and sort of get your blood flowing and everything. I mean, there's so many different ways to like get your energy moving. That's been coming through so incredibly strongly for me individually and for us as a collective. The importance of that and breathing. Di says, I've been trying to breathe like a boss today. Absolutely. Absolutely tapping, Annika. Tapping's huge. I love tapping. And it doesn't have to be tapping like the points, but you absolutely can, like the EFT tapping. I work with that all the time. It's really powerful. Any type of tapping, though, it releases energy. So just go with whatever feels resonant to you. How do you say that? Qigong? Is that how you say it? Yeah, just always bring it back to the breath. Always bring it back to the breath. That's a good reminder for all of us, myself included. Clear. All right, spirits, let's bring through some information, some energy here for my collective. Oh, the pyramids. Spirits bringing up the pyramids again. We were talking about this during the Patreon. So I was sharing how I've noticed a lot of remote viewers have been viewing underneath the pyramids, these chambers that underneath that collect and store energy. And there's been a lot more stuff coming out about the pyramids, how they are essentially huge conductors of energy, how they can actually be tapped into, and how they were in the past for free energy. I guess we could say they didn't use the word free because this is relatively new, this whole concept of having to pay for things, right? But producing energy, transmitting energy, also as teleportation centers, teleportation devices, and charging stations for spaceships and spacecraft. So there's been a lot of really powerful information being released or rediscovered about the pyramids. And I believe this is because we're going to start using them for these purposes again. And so humanity is being, that knowledge is being returned to humanity. So I found it really interesting to see how that's been kind of blowing up on a lot of channels right now, is this energy of just remembering the different things that the pyramids were actually used for, to teleport between places on Earth, as well as to teleport to the stars and different star systems. And it was coming through as I was starting to shuffle here, because I think during this eclipse, this is like a major reactivation point of the pyramids and some of those energies. And remember, we have pyramids all over the planet. We only know a small fraction of them. There are pyramids underneath the ocean. There are pyramids underneath nature. There are just natural pyramids that some people don't recognize as pyramids. All right, there are so many pyramids. I believe it was Rising Phoenix Aurora who talked about the 144 main pyramids or sets of pyramids that connect and create a grid of energy. Because they create their own energetic grid as well. So it's like a lot of that energy is reactivating right now, which is so powerful. Oh, there's definitely a portal within the Sphinx, Mystic Ray. Absolutely. The Sphinx, honestly, when I was in Egypt, was one of the most powerful experiences that I had. And I didn't expect the Sphinx to be as powerful for me as it was. It was more powerful for me than the Great Pyramid was. Than most of the temples, aside from Hathor Temple, the Isis Temple, and the Hathor Temple. I mean, that was just, I don't have words for the Hathor Temple and how powerful that was for me, but the Sphinx was right up there. And I actually have, hold on. I have my Sphinx here. So I found this at the actual Sphinx. And this Sphinx has actually, it was sitting there for collecting that energy. I felt it very powerfully, that it was meant to be a connector for that energy. So I'm sharing it with all of you. It wants to share some of that energy. It wants to transmit that to you. So if you are open to receiving an activation from the Sphinx, just set that intention to receive that activation right now. That's coming through for you, for all those who are willing and ready to accept that. The Sphinx is a keeper of the Akashic records. There's so much wisdom and knowledge within the Sphinx, below the Sphinx, encoded within. Yeah. Whew. That was powerful. Let's see. Yeah, there are. Many of the pyramids around the world are aligned with each other, and they're aligned with the stars. A lot of them with Sirius, particularly, which is really fascinating. The pyramids, the Great Pyramid and the pyramids of Giza, like we were just talking about, where the Sphinx is also located, they're aligned with Orion, the constellation Orion, and they align with Sirius. Yeah. Yes, I would love to do a trip to Egypt soon here. We're gonna start with a Sedona trip, an in-country trip, and then we'll build toward that big trip. I would love to host something like that. I would love to go back to Egypt. Oh, and Ty says Qigong. Yep. Yep. So the X is like a K sound. People can remote view anything, Ash, and welcome, by the way. Absolutely anything. And Stevie, hello, and Daisy. Yes. Loving you both. Loving you all. Yeah. All right. The dates for what, Amber? For Sedona? I'm working on the details of I'm working on the details, but I'm definitely hoping to be able to facilitate that for everybody, and it would be during the week of the 999. All right, let's see here. Clear. Guidance as we move through this eclipse portal. Ooh, in 2007. Ooh, Sekhmet, yeah. We went to, ooh, that's amazing. She was powerful. That was actually the first place that we went, was to visit Sekhmet when I went on my trip to Egypt. That, ooh, yeah. Her energy, it was the craziest energy I've ever felt. It was like, I describe it like steel. I don't know if you can relate to that, Mystic. It felt like steel, like if steel were an energy, like fierce, and I don't know. I don't know how else to say it except like that. Like, she is powerful. Yeah. They joked around because her statue is one of the only statues that still remains that hasn't been carted off to a museum or anything like that. And the people that our guides, when we were there, were saying that they don't dare to move her because they're afraid of what would happen if they did. So they leave her right where she is. Yeah. Yeah, I went in 2021, and there was definitely a lot. You could feel the heaviness that they've layered over that location. But it definitely needs people to continue visiting and helping to clear the land and clear the energy. But it was still powerful. You can't bury magic like that. You can try. You know what I mean? Oh, no kidding, Ty. That's an interesting dream. A Cairo Grateful Dead show. That would have been interesting, right? Yeah. I would be really interesting to hear what you discovered during your meditation, Mystic Ray. You should email me. I'd love to hear about that. I meditated alone in a part of the Hathor temple, and I saw some crazy. That was crazy. And it was so funny because after I meditated, and it was like I was seeing through her eyes, like I was seeing this Well, honestly, like what I was seeing was a massive orgy, which was really fascinating. Like in honor of her energy, it was wild. And afterwards, people told me that that was the type of thing that was done in that particular. It was like a little outbuilding to the temple, and I was like, oh, that's fascinating. It was quite something. Let's see. Oh yeah, everyone. So when we visited Sekhmet, everybody, I swear to God, everybody fell to their knees. Everybody. And there were quite a lot of people. There were like 20 of us, I think. And yeah, I'm acknowledging a comment that I probably didn't need to acknowledge. I know. What am I gonna do? You know what I mean? I got crazy hair. It does its own crazy thing. Yeah, but everybody fell to their knees. Her energy was that. It was just oof, I'm getting chills just thinking about it right now. Yeah. Yeah, we felt like she was our protector as we moved through the trip, because that was a crazy time when we went. That was when the COVID was still a big thing. You know what I mean? Like they were actually a new variant was discovered right before I left, and so they were shutting down air travel to parts of Africa, and it was I was pregnant, so it was a pretty wild time to be going on a trip like that. But we had her protection, and she facilitated our passage, and it felt like we were all given a blessing by her, which is, I mean, receiving a blessing from Sekhmet is quite it's quite an honor, because she doesn't give that energy lightly. I love that, Mystic Ray. Hell yeah. Daisy, I'm not sure what you're talking about with the meat and other foods lasting longer in a triangle or pyramid. I'm not sure what that. I'm not sure. I haven't heard anything about that. Hello, DR. Welcome. All right. So the first card that came out when we did pull the cards, jumping back into this again, was the full moon eclipse. Conclusions are within reach. So something is coming to conclusion. We also have the full moon, surrender to the divine. So this is a new moon eclipse that we have coming up, but there's a lot going on here. A lot of these full moon energies, a lot of this intensity of energy, I guess you could say. So it's like, and this makes sense where this is an Aries eclipse, but we have a lot of these strong Pisces energies here. So it's like this energy of like, there's a final surrender that's necessary. Something is completing, something is ending, but there's a final surrender necessary here. And then we have faith in your dreams coming out, the waxing crescent. I feel like I want to pull some tarot on this. We say, try it in your garden with what? The pyramid? Is this really a thing? I'm curious. Is this like for some reason I'm thinking like copper pyramid is coming to mind. Is that like what we're talking about here? It says if you make a small pyramid and set food inside it, it will change its structure. The water is within it. Oh, interesting. I mean, there's power. I don't, is it the geometry, the sacred geometry that does that? Or is this like a specific something? Okay. So Mystic Ray says copper or even wood dowels. All right. Yeah. Organic or living food does stay fresh longer. Well, I mean, with all the crazy preservatives they put in food now, I mean, it's take your pick, but, interesting. We're going to be doing some planting this year. So I'm glad that you brought that up, Daisy, so that I can look into that. What do we want to do here? We're going to do some of this tarot here. So we're going to look into this conclusions. What's concluding here? I'm feeling like 10 of Swords energy. So this is feeling like something that's been very challenging. We had New Moon and Cancer on the bottom of the deck. So could be around home or family. But it's sort of like something, it feels like something that felt like there was no solution. Like a lose-lose situation, or like I don't really feel like I have any room to maneuver within this energy, within this situation, where it felt like desperation and just this energy of like wanting to give up, because it's like, I don't see a way around this. I don't see a way through this. I don't see a way out of this. I don't see a way that this is going to work. And that was like the final surrender, is just being like, I don't see how, but I'll leave the how up to you, Spirit. And I'll just have faith in the what and the why. Yeah, Jay, right? There's always so many different things that come up during these live streams. That's why I love doing them so much with you guys. Yeah. Yeah. The pyramids, all the pyramids are receivers for high dimensional information. They transmit energy between each other. They transmit energy to other planets, universes probably, right? So we have the Magician coming out with the 6 of Cups. So this is something I'm feeling for somebody here. This is like something this is like a childhood dream, a childhood aspiration coming through. There's this energy, this past energy. This is also like past life energy. This is like a spirit saying, this is something that you sought out to accomplish in a past life. And this is the lifetime where you finally do it, where it completes itself, where it comes to fruition. So for some, like I said, this is a childhood dream that's reawakening. And for others, this is something you've been working towards, but you've been working towards it for many lifetimes. And this is the lifetime where you finally figure it out. This is like 29-degree, anaretic degree kind of energy here. And we've got Neptune, the collective planet, at 29 degrees, that anaretic degree during this eclipse, which is interesting, right? This is also definitely past life gifts and abilities, activating gifts and abilities that are going to be necessary in order to accomplish this. Whatever it is that you need to accomplish, whatever this thing is, whether this is a childhood dream for some, whether this is a past life dream for some, like I said, something you've been working toward for lifetimes, that energy is coming in. I really feel like Spirit really wants to like hammer away at this a little bit, because I feel like there's a lot of people who are like not feeling that, or beginning to like become a little hopeless with that. Like you just don't feel that assistance. You don't see that assistance coming forward, coming through. And Foxtrot, I believe in, how do I want to put this? I call it source, spirit, creator, right? I believe that there is an animating force and energy of which we are all a part, from which all things emanate, and of which all things are. I believe that as we are all a part of that energy, we are all essentially God. We are God experiencing itself. And in the process of remembering itself in its true power. Oh, you got Pluto at the 29th degree. That's intense. Talk about karmic signature energy right there. Yep. Yeah, I bet. What planets or what sign is your Pluto in? And what house? I'm curious. So yes, the short answer, Foxtrot, is yes, I do believe in God. In my own way. The unmovable mover. Ooh, that's interesting. I kind of like that. I like the feel of that. Yeah, I like that. Hello, Charles. In Libra in the 5th house. All right. Yeah, so there's definitely energies of creativity. Libra is the artist, the sign of the artisan, right? And the 5th house is the house of art and creativity and all of those things. So there's powerful. Are you a musician or somebody who is create, like what we would consider like a create? I mean, we're all creative, right? If we allow ourselves to be. But you know what I mean? Like somebody who has some type of whether it's music or you could be an actor, you could be somewhere where you work with that energy of creation and artistry. Hello, Alex. Oh, that's what Aristotle, is that what you're saying, said? Not in this life, Alex. Let's see. Oh, we love you, Daisy. I'm glad to hear more people reached out to you too. Yeah. Yeah, with the 29 degree, it's something that we're completing. Something really important and powerful that we're completing. And there's that deep drive, that deep burning drive and desire, that sense of urgency around whatever it is. That's how we can recognize it. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I'm sure, Alex. As me in another dimension, maybe. Maybe. Let's see. Yeah. Yep. Hello, Miranda. What else is coming through in this past life dream that's finally coming to fruition? Like I said, you're going to receive everything you need. Don't worry about that. You're going to receive everything you need. Even if it doesn't look like that. It's all about keeping the faith. Do you have the faith? We've talked about this in previous readings and previous energies. When everything in your outer reality is showing you something different than what you feel in your heart is true, is meant for you, can you still see and move towards what it is that you desire? What it is that you know is meant to be yours? That's the question. And if the answer is yes, it's like, I feel like some people are about to hit the mother lode here. We got the Ace of Swords. All right, this is clarity. This is also always the Ace of Swords reminds me of Archangel Michael. I always feel his energy come in when we get the Ace of Swords. So clearing away some of those energies here. It's a powerful breakthrough. And like I said, I feel, surgery. I'm feeling psychic surgery coming through too, which is interesting. I don't know if any of you have ever received psychic surgery. I've received it on ayahuasca. I've also performed it or been witness to it being performed, however you want to look at it, during different types of healing sessions. It's powerful. Something with a psychic surgery, though. Why is that coming through here? Somebody's receiving psychic surgery, or you're going to be. Maybe you're going to be learning. I don't. This is interesting. If that is something that you're intrigued about and you want to learn more about it, reach out to me. But I feel like somebody. Okay, this is interesting. Somebody is going to be receiving psychic surgery. So if you wake up, and this is, I'll share, I'm being guided to share one of the experiences that I had with this on ayahuasca. So it's really fascinating when it happens on ayahuasca, or actually somebody in a healing session that I did with them once experienced it to this extent, which was wild for me. I didn't realize what they were experiencing until afterwards, when it was still going on after I sort of completed my end of the session. Like they were still being worked on. It was wild. But you can literally feel the anesthesia being applied in different parts of your body. And it is like a numbing sensation or feeling that you feel like an actual surgery. And I remember after one of they did a surgery on my shoulder. The first night I drank ayahuasca in Costa Rica. And the next day, my arm was sore. Like it felt like somebody had literally cut me open from like here all the way down the side of my body. Like I could feel the soreness of it. So the reason that I'm sharing this is because I feel like somebody is going to wake up feeling really sore like that. And you're going to be like, what the hell happened? And you had psychic surgery. So just drink lots of water, take it easy, treat yourself really good, be really gentle with yourself. You're going to know because you're going to remember hearing this and you're going to be like, oh, because it's like, there's not going to be any explanation for it. Like nothing that you did is going to explain like why you have that soreness or that feeling in that particular part of your body. But it's also not going to feel bad. It's just going to feel like, oh, something happened. But you're going to notice that you start to feel different or better afterwards. No, and so that's a whole different topic, Daisy Cutter, but ayahuasca is a drink. It is a sacred medicine, plant medicine that different indigenous cultures throughout the world have drank for a very, very long time. For healing, yes, emotional healing, physical healing, all different types of healing. It connects you with different realms of consciousness. It connects you with essentially different types of God consciousness and allows for all different types of transformational experiences to occur. It is the active compound in it is DMT, dimethyltryptamine. DMT is found in various different plants and a few different animals on the planet. It's essentially considered the God molecule is the way that they describe DMT, like the connection that allows us to experience consciousness. And yeah, it's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. My most intense, I don't partake very often, but every once in a while I do. It's so funny that you put the frogs up there. So the last time that I experienced DMT, it was actually the 5-MeO DMT with a bufu frog medicine. And that was, I'll tell you guys about that in perhaps another stream sometime. That was wild. That was beautiful. Frogs are so powerful. I love frog medicine. There's something about the spirit animal of the frog. I don't know what it is. They're just the combo, which I also love, also comes from the frog. Actually, the last session that I did, it was a combination combo and bufu session, and the bufu was completely unexpected. It was revealed during the combo session that the bufu was meant to happen, and it was a complete rewiring of so many things within my being. And so this is essentially what's happening for somebody here. It's something major that's being, I feel like whoever I'm speaking to who's going to be receiving this psychic surgery, it's like there's probably an issue, whether it's physical, and I kind of want to say it feels like there's something physical that they're helping to address for you, but there's an emotional component. You're going to know because something is going to shift afterwards. Like you're going to wake up, you're going to be feeling sore. You're going to be like, what the hell is going on right now? What did I do last night? Like, I don't drink or whatever. So like, I didn't black out as far as I'm aware. So like what happened? Then you're going to remember this conversation right now. You're going to be like, oh, okay, that's what it is. So you're going to go, okay, I'm going to drink lots of water. I'm going to get lots of rest. I'm going to take really good care of myself today. And you're going to notice over the weeks following that like wherever it was that you were suffering, whether it was a physical ailment or maybe an emotional thing, it's starting to shift. It like if it's physical, it doesn't hurt as much. It's not bothering you as much. It's like there's an opening, there's a window for healing that this is going to facilitate, is I guess the best way to put it here. Stevie, I know what you mean about being in Legoland. I've actually experienced that before. I know what you're talking about. That's crazy. That's kind of a crazy experience too. Yeah. Yeah. I've seen that. Yeah, it's not something to be taken lightly or really played around with. I really want to emphasize that for people. Like, honestly, like every single time that I encounter or work with any version of DMT, like it scares the shit out of me. Like if it doesn't scare you, that I feel like there's something wrong. It probably should, because it is the most powerful psychoactive substance on this planet, and it like there's no telling where it's going to take you or what's going to happen. It's always, in my opinion or my experience so far, for the highest good, but like it takes a certain breed of person to really abuse that energy. You know what I mean? And I think if you do abuse that energy, when you abuse anything, something negative can come out of anything if it's abused. You know what I mean? So I recommend treating that with reverence. And also if anyone's feeling inspired by this conversation, just like remember and know, like and I saw 55 when I said that. So I know somebody who's watching this is going to be. Just know that it is meant to be approached with reverence, that you want to make sure that if you are considering exploring this route, that you really vet the person that you're sitting with, that they are able to hold that space for you, that they are able to be that tether for you, that they are able to, like, you want someone who is a true shaman. And that doesn't necessarily mean that they have to be from an indigenous tribe. It's the heart. There's the energy. It's the spiritual energy. You want somebody who's really tapped into that, who's really there for the right reasons, who's really bonded with the medicine and can guide you through that journey. Right? Like it's not something to be delved into or to jump into without the proper respect for what it is that you are working with, and without really researching whom you're going to work with. So I really want to say that so that people really, really understand that part. But yeah, it's a powerful experience, and a lot of people have been powerfully transformed through that experience. Absolutely. That was an interesting, I didn't plan to delve into that topic. Oh, I was about to say, how did we even get on that? And then I realized it's the psychic surgery. That's what brought us down that sort of rabbit hole there. Hello, Oklahoma. Thank you. Hello, Israel. Hunter. Uma. Yes, Stevie. Yes, we talked about that. Yeah. Oh, Miranda started the Gene Keys. Awesome. What do you think? What do you think so far? Did you have your profile made on the website so you can see your own personal profile? Hello, Chatafire. Oh, Amber has timely shows about what exactly? About the bufu or the ayahuasca, or absolutely. Daisy, I think that's accurate. Daisy's talking about plastic clothing blocking your energy. Like cotton or breathable materials, natural materials are absolutely the most desirable to wear. Absolutely, that's true. Yeah. We are moving past the Kali Yuga right now. That is the shift. That's part of this energy, this brand new epoch that we're talking about here. Yeah. Yeah, I know. We need more designers to come out with really nice cotton clothing, right? Oh, about heightened senses. Like as more of our gifts start activating or our senses start activating, you mean? I love that DR's got all kinds of activations coming in too. Hell yeah. All right, so what Spirit's saying, coming back to this reading here. We weave in and out, you know, it's the weave, you know, it's fine. We're here for it. So we were talking about an old childhood dream coming to fruition, or a dream from a past lifetime, something that somebody set out to accomplish that they're still working toward in this lifetime, and how everything that is needed in order for this to come to pass will begin coming through in the physical. And that includes the inspiration. Spirit saying, follow the inspiration. What are you inspired to do? What actions are you inspired to take? Where are you inspired to go? All right, because Spirit's going to be bringing through the downloads that show you what to do, where to take action. ADHD, anyone, right? Yeah, if you have ADHD, you probably love my channel, and you probably particularly love my live streams. Yeah, plant fibers, Ty, exactly. Hello, Jen. Welcome, welcome. So happy you're here. Woohoo, she made it. Yes, grounding mats are awesome from what I've heard. Yeah. Right. So like we said, pay attention to those inspirations. Pay attention to the downloads coming through. If you are lacking that clarity, meditate, my dear. Meditate. We got the 8 of Cups here. Walking away from something. Some of this is clarity around what we need to leave behind. Clarity around what's not working. Clarity around what is not in alignment for us anymore. I want to say is in alignment no longer. Like that specific wording. I'm not sure why. I love you too, Stevie. I love you all. Hello, RDS. Yeah. What is working no longer? That was the literal, very specific verbiage there. See, so we got the Hierophant coming out with the 7 of Swords. This is a lesson here. There's a lesson in inventiveness, a lesson in doing something different, a lesson in being a rebel is kind of the energy that I want to put. And this is the Cosmic Rebel tribe, so this is well placed, right? Going against the grain. This is going against the status quo. Deceiving the status quo. This is interesting. What does this mean? Spirit, tell us more about this. What does that mean, deceiving the status quo? It's like somebody who... It's like chameleon energy. Who fits in with a certain circle, with a certain energy. It's like they get in so they can... This is like the energy of like changing the system from within. That's what this feels like here. You know how they always say you can't do that? You can, but it takes a hell of a will to do so. Right? Because most people get eaten up by the machine once they get inside. Yeah, this is changing the system from within. What else do we need to know about this? So this is, I mean, we can put this in layman's terms, I guess is like one way I want to say this. For some, this is simply being involved in something that seems more traditional, right? So say like somebody who learns to be a therapist, or somebody who gets into politics, or somebody who does any kind of traditional thing, becomes a nurse or a doctor, a Western nurse or doctor, but they bring some other energy to it. And this is really important. And I think there's a reason that this is coming through, that Spirit wants to highlight this, because I think a lot of us think that we have to have like for some reason I wanted to say like a woo-woo job, or like we have to do this kind of stuff for a living in order to make an impact. But it's like people are needed in these old systems too to help transform them from the inside out. To bring that energy, that's how we transform it. It's how we transform everything, is by diving into it and shifting the energy from the inside. This is like the same thing with why so many light workers are in this process of shifting their relationship to money and abundance. Because we're meant to, like, yes, there is a lot of dark energy around money, right? It was created and used as a, like, or it was at least hijacked and used as a control mechanism, right? But we are meant to shift that energy by, instead of running from it and saying, that's bad, that's evil, I don't want anything to do with it, being like, no, I want lots of that. I'm going to use that for good. I'm going to create it and manifest it in positive ways. I'm going to use it for good, and I'm going to shift the energy of it. I'm going to transform it. I'm going to alchemize it. Not necessarily. Depends on how much good you want to do in the world, right? You can do a whole lot of good with a whole lot of money. We've been programmed to think that abundance is greed. What is greed, though? Let's examine that a little bit. What is greed? What is the definition of greed? Greed has to do with the intentions, right? I'm actually going to look this up because I think it's I think it'll be fascinating. This is something that I actually learned how to do in 12-step, was to look up words. Because what we were taught was that a lot of us assign meanings to words that aren't really what the word actually means. And it's based on our own biases. But I'm curious. I want to see what the word... So the definition of greed is a selfish and excessive desire for more of something, such as money, than is needed. Okay? An insatiable desire for material gain or social value, such as status or power. That's the definition of greed. All right? But what if you are desiring to have exactly how much you need to make a positive difference, to make a positive impact in your life and the life of others? What if that? Is that greed? What if you are desiring to see that continuing to circulate, to see that continuing to assist people in liberating themselves? Just a question. So we're here to transform all different types of energies from the inside out. Right there, DR, I like that. He says it's not greed if it comes from your true heart vision. If it's from pathology of fear, then it's greed. I like that. Hello, Wildcat. This started at 3:08. And that's not everybody's mission, Gen X. That may not be your mission. That may not be how you're called to serve the collective. And that's fine. We all have different ways that we're called to serve. You know? Where our unconditional love leads us, where it guides, how it guides us. Oh, okay. You're asking what time it is? Oh, yeah. Yep, you're in Pacific time. Yeah, so we started at 2 p.m. Eastern time. So that would have been 11:08 your time. All right, what else do we have here? All right, we got the Ace of Cups. So there's a lot of this energy coming in. 2 aces. This is a lot of newness, a lot of freshness. And the 4 of Swords in reverse. So this is burnout. So this is what we want to avoid here. Everything is spiritual because everything comes from spiritual energy. Every aspect of our journey is spiritual. Right? Everything, all matter, all corporeal and non-corporeal matter, all energy, all light, all frequency, it is all spiritual. It's all part of our journey. It's all part of our experience of ourselves in reality. There's no way for anything to not be spiritual because we are spiritual beings. No aspect of our experience cannot be spiritual because we are, by definition, spiritual beings. D, your cat. I love your cat. I do. I do. Yeah. Yeah. We're all called, like I said, we're all called to serve the collective in different ways. We're all called towards different experiences. And no experience is less valid than any other. No experience is less spiritual than any other. Right? All roads lead to home. We needed to take all roads too, right? Because we are emanations of source energy having a myriad of experiences. Source wanted to have every experience there was to experience. All right, so every experience, every angle of this thing, Source wanted to understand, to live out. And that's what we're all doing. Let's see. 1 degree Capricorn rising, 0 degree Capricorn sun. Ooh, and Grand Cross. When you can't get anything done and it seems like nothing is happening, it's generally a time to stop trying to force anything and just surrender and allow it to flow. Allow for the timing. Everything happens in right timing, in right season. I don't think your sign will necessarily tell you what you should be focusing on. What's challenging you the most right now? Whatever the thing is that challenges you the most, that's what you should be focusing on right now. Unfortunately, that's the short answer to that question. Whatever irritates or challenges you the most, that's where you're being called. That's where the healing is right now. That's where the growth is right now. I would imagine Generation X Leo that it's the definition would be in the name, right? 0 degree Cancer, yeah. Yep, yeah. You said 0 degree and you said what? 1 degree Capricorn, 0 Cancer? Okay, there we go. I read that as 0. Okay, I got you. Yeah. That's that beautiful birthing degree. That's that brand new cycle of energy there. Brand spanking new with that 0 degree of Cancer. Brand new emotional journey, right? Intuitive journey there. I'm not as familiar with that, honestly. But any types of those negative energies we do not consent to. Clear. All right, what else? Oh, we had more cards here. What else did we have? We had the 5 of Wands with the Page of Wands. So this is inspiration that comes from conflict or competition. So going back to this energy here where we talked about the inspiration, the inspired ideas coming through, some of this isn't going to come through in the form of downloads like we were talking about. It's literally Spirit saying the inspiration is all around you. So pay attention. Pay attention to, like somebody had asked, what should I be focusing on right now? I said, whatever is driving you the craziest, right? Whatever is most challenging you right now. That's this energy. For some people, it's like, pay attention to this competition, what this is bringing up in you, what it's inspiring within you. The conflicts that surround you. It's like there's inspiration everywhere right now if you know where to look. It's like a lot of people say, like, what is my purpose? What is my purpose? What is your greatest challenge? What is your greatest struggle? What have you had to overcome? That's usually a big key, right? That's kind of like the Chiron, the healing journey as well. All right, let's get one final. Ooh, okay, we're going to do a Black Moon astrology card here. Clear. Hello, Sly. Welcome. Yo, yeah, the eclipse is definitely building up right now. The last couple days, very intensely. And all right, noted, Leo. Anyone heard about? No, I haven't heard of that. What is that, Dizzy? Nope. Clear. Hello, Kiana. Thank you. Love received. All right. One closing card here. Aquarius. That Aquarian energy is coming through really strong today. So this is that knowing. This is that intuition crystalline inside of you. This is also, for some reason, as I'm looking at this card, I'm thinking of like contact. I'm thinking of disclosure. Thinking of really tapping into that ability to communicate with extraterrestrials, beings from other realms. This is telepathy. This is all those spiritual gifts and all those activations that we were talking about here. Ooh, and we got Gemini, I think, on the bottom of the deck, but it's in reverse. So this is coming out of the thinking into the knowing. Feel into the energy, the difference between the two of these. Thinking versus knowing. It's like the same thing as hope versus faith, right? So coming out of the thinking, coming out of the monkey mind, the over-analyzing, and dropping into the knowing. That energy of dropping in, that's really significant here. Dropping into our hearts, dropping into this moment, dropping into this incarnation. It's like some people, I feel like starseeds who've been really disconnected. And it's interesting, I was guided to start wearing my Moldavite again over the past couple days. I feel like some of you might also, it can be a really great stone for if you're not, if you're not ready for it, it'll hide anyway. But it can induce or it can set in motion transitions. So some people stay away from it because of that, but we've got so much transition happening naturally that I think this will help. This could be helpful if you are somebody who resonates with this stone. And it can help starseeds feel more comfortable on Earth as well, because it is created when a meteorite hits the Earth. And so it's that energy of space, or like the galactic energies, right? Mixing and melding and combining with Earth. So it helps to ground that spiritual energy for my star seeds. So some of you guys might want to look like that. Look up that. It's Moldavite. It came into my awareness the other day and I was guided to find my stone, my particular stone of it. Ooh, my ears are ringing again. Yeah. So some of you guys, if you've been having trouble integrating, because there's a whole new level of integration coming in here. There's a whole new level of connection. Like I said, a whole new level of psychic gifts opening up. That wisdom, like we said, we talked about the pyramids and the energy of the pyramids, the knowledge of the true nature of the pyramids, the true uses of the pyramids coming back around. So there's going to be a lot of that returning of knowledge, returning of wisdom. I know we've worked on that in Patreon calls, and I know other people have worked on that as well. This energy of like returning wisdom to the collective that was hidden or locked away. And some of that wisdom is within our very DNA, and it's unlocking and activating in and around this eclipse time. And that activating of those activations of that remembrances within our DNA. It's like different ones of us, we're wisdom keepers for different knowledge and wisdom. And it's encoded within our DNA, and it's going to open up for people. And as it opens up within one of us, because we are all interconnected, that information, that wisdom is available to the collective. to anyone who's at that vibration to be able to perceive it. So that feels really powerful. And I'm sorry, you can hear my son's freaking out in the background. So I'm going to have to go in a second. I'm feeling called to end this live stream in a moment. But I wanted to get that out because I feel like there's a lot of really powerful messages coming through right now regarding this Aquarius card. So trust your knowing. You are going to be remembering things that you had forgotten, old, whether it's a type of ritual, whether it's a way of working with nature, working with energies, your own modalities, healing modalities. And thank you so much for people who are donating that. I appreciate you so deeply for that. Thank you, Amber. And thank you as well to Mystic Ray. You guys are beautiful. It is appreciated. What was I talking about? You're going to be remembering how to do things that you forgot that you don't, it's like you're going to be inspired to work with the elements in different ways, to work with different energies, to work with your own energy, other people's energy. And you're going to be like, I don't know where this came from, but like, here it is, this knowledge, this wisdom. It's because you're remembering, because you've done it before. So trust what you're remembering. Know that you're bringing through forgotten knowledge for the collective. And sometimes you don't even have to share it like in a forum like this or something. Just acting upon it and adding that energy into the collective and trusting your knowing brings that energy into the collective and helps more people. Even if you don't ever speak to them, even if you never connect with them, even if they don't know who you are, the energy, the action of you doing that helps to empower them to do it because it strengthens that energy within the collective. So pay attention to that. Act upon those knowings. Trust your intuition. Trust that you do know how to do exactly what it is that you're being called to do. You've done it before. All right. We're going to have these wisdom codes, like we said, unlocking within our DNA. This is like we talked about. This is a preparation period right now. 2027, we're going to have a major DNA activation occurring. We're in the preparation for it right now. That doesn't mean we're not already receiving DNA activations. We absolutely are. There's a major one coming through for a lot of people with this eclipse. Yeah, keys. Exactly, Ty. Yeah. Oh, Madam Chakra, love you. Glad to see you here as well. All right, you guys, I think that's it. If anything more comes through on the Aquarius card, I will I'll either do a quick short video on it or I'll pop it in the community section. But this is a really big, powerful energy that we're working with here. Take really good care of yourselves. Be really gentle with yourselves. And I will see you all in the next live stream. Essentially, kind of in the new year, it feels like, in the new energy, because I'm going to see you on the other side of this eclipse. So I'm looking forward to us comparing notes after we move through that energy. And remember, sometimes we notice it, sometimes we don't, right? Sometimes it's subtle. I feel like this one, I feel like people are going to have some big experiences to share. So I'm looking forward to that. All right. I'll talk to you all soon. Here you go. Bye.